It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Well, good morning. It's Thursday, September 14th. Welcome to it. I hope you're having a great start to your day. It's a little foggy, but when the sun comes out, it should be a little bit nicer. High 70 today. Later on tonight, we're looking at clear skies, low down to 45. Friday for football, high 76. So it should be a nice light breeze, maybe a nice chill. So might need to bring the blanket to the game.
That'll be nice. And like the hot cider. Is it time for hot cider yet?
It might be.
Do we do that? Okay.
It might be, at least hot cocoa.
Or the cake donuts.
Yeah, the hot cocoa. Brett Witkowski might be bringing out his, he has an infamous heater.
Oh.
That he brings to the games. It's like a little space heater.
Okay, not like one of those propane
no
turbo torches or whatever.
They won't let him put that in the press box.
Good plan.
But no, he's got a little heater that he'll have. I'm sure we'll have to ask him tomorrow when we talk with him to preview the game.
Yeah,
but
because it gets cold in those stadiums.
It does. Plus, you open the windows up in the press box, you get that cool breeze coming in.
Even the press box feels like it's protected from the wind chill. Yeah, because I love seeing the game from up high. But if you stand up where the wind's coming right over the top of it, ouch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can be a little treacherous up there.
Nice to get a blanket.
Well, let's find out what's happening in the news this morning. WSJM News brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Alliance. See gomichigan.com, Cornerstone Alliance.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And in the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. As Johnny and I were talking just a moment ago, with an auto workers strike looming, one labor law professor says it is clear that one side has an advantage, and that is the union. Michelle Kaminsky, associate professor of labor relations at Michigan State University, says the hard stance by the UAW president Shawn Fain means he's taking advantage of the opportunity to earn as much as he can for the members.
I have been in this field for 30 years, and this is by far the best opportunity for a labor union to get better wages and benefits for their membership.
Kaminsky said in the past the leverage was with the employer, but since COVID, it has shifted power to the employees and the unions. The current contract, which covers about 150,000 auto workers, expires at 11:59 this evening. A Michigan doctor is urging people to get the new COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available. A Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Advisory Panel approved the updated vaccines for those 6 months and older. Dr. Matthew Sims, Corewell Health's Director of Infectious Diseases Research, says everyone who is eligible should get the shot.
I put my money where my mouth is. I will be going out and getting the shot as soon as I can. I know my wife will be getting it. My kids will be getting it. I believe in this, and I've gotten all my shots. I have not gotten COVID yet.
Knock on wood. Sims says there has been an increase in COVID cases recently, with some cases being more serious than others. He says the side effects from the new vaccines will likely be the same as earlier shots. Pfizer has set their list price at $120 per dose for theirs. Moderna says its shot is $129. Most insurance companies are expected to cover the cost. Post office at the Orchards Mall is closed. The U.S. Postal Service says to ensure the safety of both postal customers and employees, the office shut down temporarily on Wednesday. The Postal Service has cited safety conditions without elaborating. Customers who use the mall location can now retrieve their P.O. Box mail at the Benton Harbor Post Office on Riverview Drive. That's about 4 miles away. The mall post office has 2 employees. The U.S. Postal Service has not said when the mall location could reopen, if it will at all. Lincoln Township is holding a photo contest as it looks for images that could be part of its new website. Clerk Stacy Laura Porter tells us that they're preparing to launch a new website in January, and they want to feature a lot of images of things in Lincoln Township. She decided to get the public involved.
We need to have several high-definition photos of things in our township. So I'm going to put out a request to our residents and whoever else, if they have any photos that they would like to submit to be on our website. We're going to have several pages with pictures and slides, and we want pictures of all seasons and all activities in the township, and we'll give photo credit to who they go to. And it's just a great way to engage our residents with something that kind of belongs to them now.
Laura Porter says the prize for getting a photo selected will be that it's featured on the website. along with the photographer's name, noting that there are plenty of attractions to show off, so plenty of opportunities to put something up there. We do have a link to the requirements for the photos and how to submit them on our website, WSJM.com. The photos are due by September 25th, so for those other 3 seasons besides this one, you'll have to go back into your photo library and look. Laura Porter says when the new website launches, the new text alert system for residents will launch as well. The Township Board just approved both the site and the alert system last month.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
High definition photos.
High def. Well, basically anything.
High quality. Yeah.
Anything you take with your phone these days, I think, is going to be good enough.
Yeah, I gotta just take some selfies and just post a bunch of those.
We should send a bunch of those in.
Yeah.
Could we send about 100 of those in?
I think so. I mean, people in Lincoln Township are listening to this fine award-winning program, so why not?
I think we should. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Coming up here in less than 10 minutes, going to be talking with Barry and Risa and our wonderful segment, that's brand new. We just did it, started last week.
It's good.
Always learning, and we're learning more, talking about workers.
Yes.
We're talking about possible, the teacher shortage and what is happening not only across the nation, but how we can help fix that problem.
Pay them more.
Well, that's a possibility, but there's other resources and things that the folks at Barry and Risa, they've got some ideas, and there's some new things. So if you've been interested in being a teacher, or wondering, if you are a teacher right now, it's like, how are we going to get some more help here? There's a great conversation that I'll have here in just a little bit with Superintendent Eric Hopstock. But first, let's find out what's happening in the news with ABC News.
Midnight tonight, the deadline for the United Auto Workers and Detroit's Big Three automakers to get a deal, or workers go on strike.
We still haven't found the right deal for.
How's that coffee this morning? Nice. Very nice.
I was down to the emergency stash of beans this morning, but I was able to make my 2.
Just enough?
Well, 4 shots of espresso into the tumbler.
Dang.
Well, I cut it with water.
Oh, okay.
A little bit like an Americano.
Okay.
Strong Americano.
That's still quite a lot of shots there. What's the caffeine count on that?
5.
5 out of 10.
On a scale of 1 to 4, it's a 5.
Wow. Yeah, I do 1 cup of coffee. It's pretty much it's a 20-ounce tumbler, but I only probably fill it maybe to 16.
Okay.
And that's all I really need. Coffee does not affect me.
Yeah.
I do get a little bit of a headache if I don't have it, but overall, as far as the need for it, where it's like I need that jolt of energy or jolt of caffeine to get me going, not so much.
I agree with you. Coffee does not affect me in that way. I can drink a double shot of espresso and fall asleep for the night. It's not an issue for me.
Yeah.
And I wondered at one point, just as you mentioned, am I addicted to coffee?
Sure.
And I gave up coffee for a full year.
Really? Why?
Just to see if I could.
Just to see?
And I did. And then after that year was over, it's like, whew, let's get this going.
no doctor recommendation or anything. You were just like, I'm going to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did.
Huh. Yeah. But then you just went back right back to it?
Well, after a year, it's like, I want it again.
Yeah.
It's like I can leave it there if I want to, or I can enjoy it. And I chose to enjoy it.
See, I used to hate the taste of coffee.
Okay.
And I mean, I put creamer in there and stuff. So it's not coffee anymore. It's really just like a milkshake with coffee flavoring.
That's basically what the kids have these days.
That's all it is. When every time, especially my nieces, they're like, yeah, I'm going to go to Starbucks or Big B or any of these other places, and I'm gonna get a coffee. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do you want? And they're like, oh, this caramel, vanilla, caramel, whipped cream. And I'm like, you're basically having an ice cream sundae that has a splash of coffee flavor.
I'd like the caramel, the foamed milk, the whipped cream, the cherry, and just hold the coffee, please. No coffee in there.
You just get a big old dollop of vanilla ice cream in there as well.
That's what they do. So they're getting the feeling of, oh, I'm ordering a coffee. I'm very adult-like now. But you're right. It's a milkshake. I
had the, what is it? I think Wendy's has the frosty cold brew, and it basically, it's basically a milkshake with a splash of coffee. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I love both of those things.
Yeah.
But it was, coffee these days, I don't know many people that just straight up drink black coffee.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I know a few people. But well, you're not even bringing just plain old black coffee. You're bringing the espresso
high
into the
tech.
game.
Yeah, the high octane.
You're not like the. Do people still do the instant coffee, like the makers?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? What is that called? The tastemakers or whatever it is.
There's I don't even remember. Taster's Choice.
Taster's Choice.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the instant one.
No, yes, people are still doing the instant coffee, and actually, I've been guilty of drinking instant coffee within the last few months.
Really?
Because Starbucks makes it. Yeah, when I was making coffee for my mom.
Okay.
And she didn't have she had an espresso, but she found the pods and the capsules confusing, which ones to buy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, Mom, just this stuff. And Starbucks does a really good job with the instant. So if you have guests, you don't do coffee, but your guests do.
Yeah.
The Starbucks is making a really nice instant these days.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I like it.
We have usually a can for usually baking purposes. Like if we're baking something that we need some coffee added to it, if we're making some like tiramisu or anything like that, we'll toss that in there. But yeah, you make a good point about if you have guests coming over.
Or keep it in the car just in case.
Yeah. Let's say good morning to Mary.
Hey,
who's
Mary.
Our friend from Connexus who's watching this
Mary
morning.
Morphy?
Mary Morphy.
Hi, Mary.
She's up early. She's one of those that I don't know how much coffee she drinks, but she's one of those early morning workout people, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The morning workout is great.
I can't do the morning workout.
No?
Because we do the show
now, but yeah.
Unless I'm part of what is it? Mark Wahlberg is part of the he calls it the 4 a.m. club.
Oh.
Where he gets up at 4 a.m., starts working out.
He sleeps in.
Yeah, he I think he like eats breakfast even before. Like he'll drink a little bit of coffee, he'll eat some breakfast, he'll do a workout, then he like eats some more, does another workout.
Wow.
At like 6 because he's a big Hollywood actor. He doesn't have anything else going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the guy's in shape. And he's always been in shape. So it's interesting to see. I don't know if I could do that. I think if I didn't do the morning show, there's a good possibility I would go to the gym early in the morning just before I started my day. But maybe it's a little tough.
Maybe we should put our demands in writing. We could get Sean Fain, the head of the UAW, to come represent us.
Maybe we just need to get like a bicycle and we'll do like a spin class here during the show.
Yes.
We'll just get headset
You
microphones.
could do that, and I'll be on the microphone.
Yeah. I'll get headset microphones just like all the instructors for all the spin classes.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, that's a possibility.
Let's see. This mummified alien, I promised you I was going to show you a picture of this. Oh, dear Lord. Now I'm finding all kinds of weird stuff. But it was in Mexico. Mexico alien.
Oh, Mary does say that she drinks a lot of coffee. She said it fuels her day.
Oh,
there you go.
go.
Best part of waking up is the morning show.
There you go.
Oh my God. Oh, I just saw that on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the alien, the little alien thing?
Is this on here? Does that show up?
Yeah, we'll find the image, see if we can't put it up on there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, alien corpses that had been retrieved from Peru shown to Congress in Mexico. As a UFO expert testifies to non-human DNA. It's very odd.
That is odd. Right now, if you're listening on the air, you're hearing a conversation that I had with Eric Hopstock. He's the superintendent at Berry and Risa, talking about teacher shortage.
Yes.
There's been a teacher shortage.
Big deal.
And it's, I think, even with the pandemic and over the past few years, it's just really continued to grow.
Yep.
But where's the solution? What is going to happen in the short term and long term plan to help curb that teacher shortage? Well, we're having that conversation right now. You can check out the podcast at WSJM.com. But do you want to get a little listen in on that conversation?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
In other words, if you already have a bachelor's degree and can pass what we call the educator teaching test, you can actually get a temporary teaching authorization while you finish up some coursework. We are also participating with a group of 48 ISDs on what's called Talent Together, where we are doing a registered teacher apprenticeship to take those that may have been paraprofessionals or others that we say, they'd make a great teacher. But when we talked to them, they said things like, I can't afford to go to college. I need my job. So we have really developed a program. First cohort started this fall, 258. Another 600 or so will start in the spring. So we'll put 900 teachers into the system in the next couple of years. But that really is free tuition. And you work as a paraprofessional. And then as you work through it, you become an apprentice. You have a year-long apprentice, and then you become a teacher. And so it is opening up a pathway to those that otherwise could not get into the profession. So those are just a couple examples.
So that's something where they could still keep their job as that pro or teacher's assistant or something like that, sort of take classes on their time, their free time, to be able to make up for that education that is required in order to be a certified teacher.
Correct. And a number of universities across the state are partnering with us to do that. 12 of the universities said, because they got it, that, hey, these are students that normally were not coming our way because they just couldn't afford it. So they have worked with us. We've had agreements where they've reduced maybe the tuition rate. So the grant funds that we were awarded in the most recent budget will help pay for that over the next couple of years. So Michigan has sort of ponied up, so to speak, and put money behind this. And a number of administrators, district personnel in Barron County have participated in the development of this program, which is launching this fall. Very excited about a group of individuals that will come into the profession that otherwise we didn't have access to prior to this year. So that's just an alternative pathway.
That's so cool. And I know you work with many of the school districts in our area. And so how are other ways that you help kind of connect the dots and connect that those openings and kind of help people, including these school districts, how you kind of connect the dots with school districts and great qualified people?
And that's where some of these people are coming from. In other words, they've known that, hey, there's Johnny. I mean, he works with our kids. He would be a great teacher, but hey, I just work in the lunchroom. And it's like, Johnny, if this would be free of charge to you and you could still stay working here until such time that you were completed, would you be interested? Yeah, I'd be interested. So that's where, over 900 teachers that'll come is not a small number. I mean, if you look at the last 10 years, Michigan has dropped 35% in terms of the number of enrollees into education programs across the board. And if you're talking special education, early childhood, and math and science, it's even worse. But what makes it even more sinister, Johnny, is there are, 25 to 30% of those that start don't finish. So not only are we down in terms of the kids that are coming in, students enrolling, they start, but they don't finish. So it just exacerbates the problem. So I know most professions are shortages right now, but we're really talking about your kid, my kid, do they have access to high quality teachers? And that is really a strain right now because we are all competing for a scarcer and scarcer resource. So it's getting tough. So that's why the Talent Together that I mentioned just a bit ago, we have to start thinking about things in an alternative new way because the pipeline is the water coming in, so to speak, is really down to a trickle right now.
Yeah, and you have teachers that have long-time teachers that have retired and then not really being able to have that continuous pipeline or continuous group of people coming into those school districts. Yeah, it certainly is tough. How else do you help with the teacher shortage, or do you want to add anything to that?
Well, and I think I'll give this illustration that sometimes people chafe at, but once I give the illustration, that makes sense. It's if you think about students coming out of high school, we used to have those students taking the ACT that go on to college. What do you think you're going to enroll in? We used to have about 29-30% that said, I think school. That's down to 5%. So kids just aren't going in. And when you look at some studies, why? They says, I can go off, spend 4 years, save the same amount of debt, become an engineer, and make 60 to 90,000 right out of the bat with just getting into six figures very, very quickly.
Right.
And so, or I can go be a teacher, have the same amount of debt and have half that in terms of pay. So, we're going to have to figure out a way to pay better. And one illustration I said is, is your child worth $2.50 an hour? Oh, sure. So if you pay a 7.5 hour day, $2.50 per hour, that's about $18.75 times 25 students. That teacher should be making $84,000. And they go, oh, wow, that puts it into perspective. And so those are one of the things we're going to have to figure. And that's why you've seen the governor increase per pupil funding, because there's a realization that we are asking a lot of teachers, and paying them better is going to be one option. The other option is, how do we make sure that they are well supported, Johnny? And so when I talk about teacher apprenticeship, how do you work with them so well that you eliminate the concept of a first-year teacher? In other words, I've had so many experiences as I've got my education that now that I'm ready to take my own classroom, I don't feel like a first-year teacher. I feel like a second or third-year teacher, and that they'll stick and they won't leave the profession after a couple of years.
That makes total sense because, there's so many new teachers that they're new, they struggle, and they maybe last that maybe second year, third year, and either they move on to a different school district or get out of the profession completely. And I love that, be giving them that foundation to be able to feel as though they're a second or third year teacher. And this is really awesome. And what about the openings and shortages and things like that is also the like you said, these really great resources that are available to people that I'm sure there may be some teachers, assistants, and parapros that didn't know this was available to them. So is there a good place for us to find out more information about all this?
Yeah, if you go to talenttogether.org, all one word, .org, you will find out about registered apprenticeships, and or just type in teacher, Michigan Department of Education. They also have a great website that'll explain those alternative options to becoming a teacher.
Awesome. And if we want to learn more about the great resources and things that you have at Berry and Risa, a good place for us to find that.
BerryandRisa.org.
Awesome. Well, Eric Hopstock, the superintendent of Berry and Risa, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Talk to you next week.
Just as the roots of a...
And you can check out that conversation just by going to WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Always like talking with Superintendent Eric Hopstock, but that every Thursday you can check out that that segment on this fine award-winning program.
There you go. Nice.
So, right around 7:10ish each Thursday morning. But like I said, podcast is the way to go check it out.
That's right.
We've been talking about aliens a little bit. You found that photo of this was found where, Arizona?
No, this was down in Peru.
Peru.
Yeah, they had it in Peru, and they had it on display actually in front of the Congress in Mexico. And so they were, everything that you see from the videos they have online is in Spanish, but they're basically saying that they believe these are the real thing. They estimate that they're about 1,000 years old.
Dang.
And they believe that it's proof of extraterrestrial life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're doing a bunch of studies and carbon dating.
They did the carbon dating
stuff.
Yeah, 1,000 years old. They couldn't figure out what some of the DNA was. They don't believe it came from this planet.
Okay.
So again, more stuff. I gotta tell you though, the mummified bodies, they look a little comical.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up here real quick.
They look a little comical, but
yeah, this is
but they're there, and they're humanoid, and they're tiny.
They are really tiny. It looks like just like a sculpture kind of thing. It doesn't really look like an actual alien or being of any kind. I guess it's like kind of a skeleton. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah. But the scientists and others who are bringing this out say it's a watershed moment. For the first time, they were trying to get their people in Mexico to have a formal dialogue to acknowledge that there is a phenomena out there, and they say it deserves to be aired out.
Yeah,
You got it?
Think so. Yeah. Here.
Let's see if it pulls up.
This one here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, look at that alien. Does not look like an alien at all.
Well, I mean, it kind of does. It kind of does. If you so imagine that to be about 3 feet tall,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine all the conceptual drawings or descriptions that people have said about aliens. It kind of looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gangly green men.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the basic skeleton. So yeah, I'm curious to what they actually looked like. And I mean, just like with dinosaurs, they'll probably come up with some sort of way of what the look based off the skeleton
they
of
have
what this might look like.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, there you go.
So anyway, that's that was in front. That was down on basically their House of Representatives floor, their equivalent of the Congress down in Mexico.
Aliens, man. I mean, at this point, because that was the other big thing about
Right.
the big alien announcement that they made a few months ago about, oh yeah, hey, there's aliens, we've got them. The government's been paying for all this stuff, and you just had this whole collective sort of kind of feeling from everybody on the internet. They were just like, yeah, one, I knew this was already a thing. Two, I've got other problems to deal with in my life. I don't need to worry about this whole alien thing. It's not a big deal for me. So yeah, even like the government was like, aren't you scared about this? Like, what, aren't you freaking out right now? And they're like, not really. Kind of knew this was going on. Not a big deal.
Aren't you surprised we were keeping it from you?
Right. It's like, no, I've seen enough movies, and most movies and stories are based off of something. You know, they had to get the idea from somewhere. And of course, real life, there's aliens.
Yeah.
Not a big surprise. But anyways, how's everybody having breakfast right now? Anything delicious? How many cups of coffee are you on? We're going to get back to the show here in just a moment, but still a lot of things to talk about. Do you want to talk aliens on the show as well on the live stream?
Well,
or
we can either do that or we can talk about Senator Mitt Romney.
Oh yeah,
Utah Senator Mitt Romney has called it.
Ooh.
He said he's retiring. It's done. He's not going to run for re-election.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Romney obviously having Michigan roots.
Yep.
But in Utah and Massachusetts and whoever
knows. He's been all over the place.
All over the place. So he says he's not going to run for Senate again, and he'll focus part of his effort on getting young people interested in the process. And that's probably, that is a lot of where people who are frustrated with where the process is and where it's gone go, is to get the young people educated to think about, all right, here's what you need to think about when you think about politics. Don't just believe everything you hear.
Yeah.
Be critical thinking about it.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment, but let's get back to the show.
Fox Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. Just about 7:30 and a little fog. I think most of that has cleared up as the sun is about to really poke out here. But overall today, be a pretty decent day. High 70. Later tonight, clear skies. Low down to 45. Friday, sunny skies and high 76.
Nice.
So that's solid, man.
You have any outdoor plans today?
Today, oh man, no. I'm actually going to be indoors most of the day, at least for the first part of it. Maybe this afternoon I might get out and do something.
Okay.
I keep telling Jocelyn that I just need to. I do too much work. And it's a little bit of me as well, where I'm like, I'm just going to add another project. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to work on this because I work at home as well.
Yeah.
And I was just having this conversation with Ginger from 98.3 The Coast, is that the pandemic changed a lot of things.
Okay.
And I think one of the biggest things was that kind of blurred the lines of where work in the building and work at home exists.
Yeah.
Some people work from home. Some people have this sort of hybrid schedule, but even just that it established a more solid connection between things, because like I'll take my laptop and I'll connect it. I mean, I have a studio at my house that we can do the show from. So just about every few minutes, it's like, oh, well, I'll check my email. Oh, there's something that needs to happen. Oh, let me check and make sure this is going on, making sure this is going on. And then it's like the day has just kind of gone away.
Yeah, and the ability to unplug.
Yeah.
I think that is an acquired skill.
Yeah.
Because information, for me, I'm addicted to information. Bring that flow all the time, but I have to train myself. Stop checking email.
Yep.
Stop working because, they don't pay me for 24 hours a day.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing.
I don't think so. Dave?
I mean, if you're getting the 24-hour deal,
I want that.
That I don't know if I want that. I like the idea of unplugging, but
And sleeping. Yeah.
That's one of the things you almost have to I'm gonna just take my laptop and mail it to myself, or put it in like a safety deposit box a time capsule that can't be opened for a week. That might be the type of vacation that some of us need.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things going on. We're going to chat a little bit about speaking of somebody having a little bit more time on their hands.
Oh yeah.
Senator Mitt Romney saying, "Hey, I think I'm done.
I think I'm done here in the U.S. Senate." So he announced his retirement. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, but let's see what else is happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. A major development is closer to becoming reality in South Haven. Assistant City Manager Griffin Graham has told us that the project for Center Street between Quaker and Phoenix Streets, where the Hales department store used to be, is going to go forward. They just have a couple more meetings to have happen, but they're going to build some new housing there at that location. New Heights CCDA has reached its fundraising goal for the New Heights Laundry Hub. The construction's been happening at 2121 Red Arrow Highway in Benton Heights. New Heights Director Chris Britton tells us the effort to build the community center with human resources and a laundromat incorporated together began a couple of years ago when a survey found that residents really wanted a laundromat, but they wanted more. Also, the search for 83-year-old Richard Martin and his home-built airplane continued for a third day yesterday, and still no sign of either. The Michigan Wing Civil Air Patrol and other agencies have been searching all over southwest Michigan, and Martin's plane went missing from the Dowagiac Municipal Airport on Sunday morning. Those stories and more are what we're following today at WSJM News. In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough thing to find, that plane. Like everything I'm hearing about, there was no flight plan of any kind, no beacon,
no flight plan, no verbal. Here's where I'm going to fly today, and so it's an unfortunate incident, and we still don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on that for sure. We'll catch you up with sports here in just a moment. Let's find out what else is happening in the news with the Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. UAW President Shawn Fain is updating union members on the latest contract talks, saying they're preparing to strike in a way the Big Three's never seen before. However, he says they do continue to make progress. About 1,000 Blue Cross Blue Shield workers represented by the UAW are on strike. In a statement from the UAW, they say their goal is to secure job stability and equitable pay for all union members. In Sheboygan, firefighters are still on the scene this morning of that 8-alarm fire at the Tissue Depot storage facility. The fire started Wednesday morning in the warehouse building. It's caused concern about air quality. Those who live within a mile have been asked to shelter in place until early this afternoon. Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy will attend the Mackinac Leadership Conference and will be the keynote speaker on Friday, September 22nd. Ramaswamy is an American business leader. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible.
All right. Still lots of show to get to here. We're going to talk a little bit about Mitt Romney hanging it up, which I think is would you say a surprise?
I think it was a surprise. I was surprised when he decided to run for Senate from Utah, and then he won it comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I I wasn't. I guess I'm not too surprised that now seeing that his age. He's I think 76 years old. Trump is 77. Biden is 80. And so I know you and I talk a lot about should there be an age restriction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can only be so old.
Yeah, or you have some sort of physical kind of thing in check. I mean, because you had the two scares with Mitch McConnell of his people were saying, did he have a stroke? Was it some sort of other thing that's going on? We're not really 100% positive. But he says, I'm fine. But he's also, what, 80 something?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it looks like more and more this is coming up. Florida governor and Republican presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis, speaking with CBS Evening News anchor Norah O'Donnell, said he believes the founding fathers probably would have put an age limit on elected officials if they could look at this again. Because, I mean, if you thought about it back then, I mean, the age expectation, the life expectation was a lot younger. Now we're with modern medicine, we can push folks way up there.
Well, and they had no limit on anything in the beginning.
Right.
I mean, because the presidential 2-term thing didn't come about until after FDR.
Yeah.
So that amendment wasn't put in there. So the whole time they were just like, we're going to start this whole government. I mean, because with George Washington, he set the precedent by doing just the 2 terms and saying, I'm calling it quits. But they wanted him to basically
be
the king.
Yeah. And he said no.
He's like, no.
Wisely enough.
Why would I do that? We just left that whole thing.
Yeah.
We just left that situation. Why do I want to do this whole long-term deal?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. You have the term limits on the state side, at least here in Michigan.
Yep.
And so looking at some of those other term limits of some kind for some other folks that might also cut down on some of the long-term people that are in their, I mean, I'm not saying that somebody from their 70s or even early 80s couldn't be elected.
Here's part of the problem. Part of the problem with term limits is you potentially remove the will of the people from the equation. So age restriction could be interesting. I think you'd want to delve more into it. But
would you rather have an age restriction or a term limit?
Well, here's the issue with term limits. If people are okay with that vote being negated by a term limit, what you end up with is career staffers, let's say in Washington, D.C., who work on these important committees where the legislation's drafted. They know where all the bodies are buried. They know where all the traps to check, and they're there, and they guide the members, and they play a really important, influential part, but they weren't elected. And so if they mold and modify legislation and the newbie comes along and says, hey, I'm here to do this. Well, what do I do? Well, here's your stuff. Just do this. It'll be fine. With a wink and a nod. So you want some people with the experience.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But not too much.
Right. Yeah, not too much. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what ends up if anything changes, because I know they keep throwing around that idea. But if they do term limits, who votes on that? Who votes on approving those term limits? Wouldn't that have to go through the checks and balances of everything? And
why not?
Throw the president in there, and then I'm sure the Supreme Court would have to decide on that.
It would have to be a constitutional thing. You'd have to amend the Constitution.
Yeah.
And that's easy.
Yeah, why not? Toss a few in there. We're what are we up to now? 27 or something like that?
There's still a few out there remaining unratified.
I mean, we started the country with started the Constitution with, they're like, yeah, we're gonna put this out there, but we're gonna already make at least 10 revisions already. Little changes here and there, little tweaking notes, a little tweaking, little rat tails there.
Rat tails.
Yeah, little rat tails. Like in when they do the tournament, like the NCAA tournament, or when I used to wrestle, they'd call it, oh, you got a rat tail match. And basically it was you had a match to get into the tournament. Like you weren't even they had so many people in the bracket that they had to have an extra match to get into the bracket. And you see those happen now in the NCAA. You have the field of 64, but then they also have 4 games prior to the tournament that are like the play-in games.
Oh,
so that's why. I mean, I call them rat tails.
Oh,
because that's what I always learned when I was a kid.
Full house. That's
Full
all I got to
house.
say.
Yeah, exactly. Sports ball.
Sports ball.
Goal.
Deal me in.
Goal. Some other things going on. Speaking of sports, we might talk about this too, about as people are getting older. I think this is connected to in sports. As people are getting older, some players are playing too long? But, because Aaron Rodgers busted his Achilles, which every time I say that, my legs hurt because I cannot imagine. I know I've never had that happen to me.
No.
But anybody that I've heard has had it, or especially athletes that said it's a different kind of feeling when it happens.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with him.
Right?
Yeah. And I think you have that feeling too of basically it feels like it's not working properly. Because Aaron Rodgers, it didn't look like he was in cringing pain when it did happen, but he took about 2 steps after getting up and said, nope. And he sat right back down on the ground and just kind of tucked his knees up and just kind of sat there with his arms crossed, said, hey, you're going to have to come get me.
Which is smart when you're making millions of dollars every play.
Oh, yeah.
You want to take care of the body that's supporting that income.
Mhm.
So what does he do now? I mean, does he still get paid?
He still gets paid. We'll talk about that too, because he only played
like 4.
It was 4. Well, I guess it was on the 5th snap.
Okay.
So on the 5th play is when he got injured. So if you do the math, and somebody else did the math for us, and figured out with his big contract and how much money he's making.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's all guaranteed. It's all guaranteed dollars. So even with this season-ending injury, and I believe if he doesn't even play next year, he still gets that money. Guaranteed money. So yeah, we'll chat about that. We'll also talk about Mitt Romney and some other things as well. But let's find out what's happening with the weather. The standard for heating, cooling, and electrical in Southwest Michigan, Boss Services.
Areas of patchy fog this morning, but otherwise a beautiful day. We're going to see sunny skies. Temperatures getting up at 70 this afternoon. Clear tonight down to 45 and sunny tomorrow as well. High temperatures in the middle 70s. Over the weekend, we start out sunny on Saturday, but cloud Saturday afternoon will lead us to rain Saturday night and Sunday. High 76 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Hi, this is Pat Moody, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Jonny Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. Email letstalk@WSJM.com. You can find us on our Facebook and YouTube. We are streaming live on X as well.
Yes.
X.com. Seems so weird saying that still.
I notice if I type x.com in the browser, it does bring up Twitter.
Okay.
It does work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a little leery of typing in X's in the in the internet browser.
One thing about the X, even just the app, is I hate the logo because they put this weird sort of like glass shattering kind of look to it.
Okay.
If you look closely, and every time I look at it, I wipe my screen. Like, what is on my screen? What the heck is that? Is that a scratch? I've had this phone for this long and I have a scratch now. It's just the way the logo looks. So yeah, check that out when you get a chance.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. That's weird.
Weird, right?
It's like a lightning bolt or something, or a crack.
I think it's like glass breaking. I don't know. It's probably some sort of metaphor.
Shattering the social thing.
I don't know. Anyways, other things going on in the news this morning you should know about. Shakeup, I guess you'd call it, in the United States Senate. Mitt Romney saying, hey,
that's it.
I'm done, man.
Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney said yesterday he will not run for re-election, ending a storied 2-decade political career that included 2012 Republican GOP nomination for president and a term as Massachusetts governor. And then he went on to be U.S. Senator for Utah. He's 76 years old. He said the country's many challenges call for a younger generation of leaders. He said the U.S. would be better served if the two frontrunners for their party's 2024 presidential nominations, talking about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, stepped aside. So he stepped aside, and then he said Biden and Trump should do the same thing. He also said that after he leaves the Senate, Romney plans to focus on getting more young people voting and involved in the political process. As the GOP's 2012 nominee for the White House, he campaigned across America as the former governor of Massachusetts. But with Trump's populist rise as the party's dominant figure, Romney's brand of republicanism shifted from part of the establishment to being an outlier. I mean, he's one of the few moderates remaining in the Senate at this time. And Romney said of that at his news conference that he belongs to the wise wing of the Republican Party.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't think it'll fade away. We'll see. He is, by the way, he is the 6th incumbent senator to announce plans to retire at the end of the term in 2025.
Really?
Yeah, he joins Republican Mike Braun of Indiana, Democrats Tom Carper of Delaware, Ben Cardin of Maryland, Dianne Feinstein of California, and Debbie Stabenow, of course, here of Michigan.
And Mitch McConnell has not.
Mitch
But
McConnell
that
is
might possibly, that would be a big shakeup because being the minority leader. So I don't know.
Yeah. Don't know if Romney has plans to move back to Michigan. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a family home or something like that he comes back to and vacations to at some point.
Be smart too.
I don't think he's going away.
No.
I think this is okay. I'm going to not do this. I don't know if he's going to throw his hat in the ring for president, but I think he's setting himself up for if one of the people that are one of the candidates right now or soon to be, I think he's throwing his hat in the ring for a possible cabinet position at some point.
That would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what he'd be good at.
I don't know. Like what of the cabinet positions? It could be interesting.
I mean,
But
he could
I
be
don't
like
think he's going
Secretary
away.
of State.
Sure.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I
Because
think
you need somebody with the experience and the knowledge and the level-headedness to get in there. And
yeah, because you have like somebody right now, John Kerry. Kind of, he's the special
they created a new position
envoy or something of climate envoy or something or other.
United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, envoy for climate.
And it comes
I
with
think
probably
that's
a 7-figure salary.
That's the possible future for Mitt Romney is that there will probably be some sort of either cabinet position or key position of some sort in the future.
Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah.
That
So
would
I
be
don't
good.
think he's retiring ... I think that's the story right
Well,
now.
and I wonder if anyone from our No Labels effort
I was thinking that too.
is listening. Tell us, are you talking with Mitt Romney?
Yeah, does he then, because as he says they need to step aside, those two candidates, maybe he's stepping aside from U.S. Senate to step in to the possible no labels.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
More to come with that.
Do you want to hear about other United States members of Congress?
Sure.
And doing goofy stuff?
Yeah.
U.S. Representative Lauren Boebert. Did you hear about this one?
I did hear about this. She got kicked out of Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, the play, the musical. United States Representative Lauren Boebert was escorted out of a Sunday night performance of the Beetlejuice musical in downtown Denver.
What was she doing?
Well, she was accused by venue officials of vaping, singing, recording, and just generally causing a disturbance during the performance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Really?
There's closed circuit video camera footage of her being escorted out of the theater.
Yeah.
And then she stops in the hallway in the mezzanine or whatever to take a selfie as she's being escorted out.
Wow.
That's just weird.
That is weird. Speaking of people that could be getting close to retirement, we know the big news earlier this week was quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who was debuting as the new quarterback for the New York Jets. His debut cut short with his Achilles tendon burst Yeah. Basically, yeah. That's probably what it sounded like. But it burst. He's out for the season. But this has now because it was a rainy day in New York, and they have a turf field, even though it's open. They have a turf field, and a lot of people saying, hey, the turf field is what caused this injury.
Really?
Because in soccer or other football, there's actually been a mandate that all these stadiums have to switch to grass, to natural grass. Now, NFL Players Association said, hey, that injury, that's the one that is among many others, because there's been a couple other people that have had Achilles tendon injuries this season. NFL Players Association demanding every stadium switch to natural grass fields, which they say will reduce the injuries. It's easier said than done, though 10 of the league's 32 teams play under a roof, and growing grass indoors, not so easy. So maybe a modification. They've made a lot of modifications to turf over the years. I mean, turf is not the turf, the basic roll out the carpet on top of cement. There's a lot, rubber base and all these different things that go involved to make it more like grass.
What is it about the artificial turf the NFL is concerned about? What is it that it's doing? What physical, mechanical interaction is
even
happening?
Though there is the rubberized layer and things like that, there's not as much give as a natural. There's not enough flexibility as much as the natural grass is.
So the sliding doesn't happen. You could at a moment's notice, you could just like stop.
Yeah, you get your foot. You get your foot stuck, or as you are bending, there's no
ouch.
The floor or the ground has no real flexibility in it, so you're having more injuries.
I thought it was because of the new innovation when they have the little recycled bits of
the rubberized
tire rubber. People were getting tired of cleaning that up after NFL games.
Yeah, because it
goes everywhere.
You saw it on Monday. All the games that had a little bit of water from the rain, you had all of that just sticking to all these people. So that any guys that got tackled, they had all this black dots all over their face. But Aaron Rodgers, he's making a lot of money still because all that money guaranteed.
Oh,
so the whole season, even though he's out, still going to get paid.
Nice.
He only played for 94 seconds.
Oh, geez, total?
Yeah,
for the season.
There's only 5 plays.
94
so very short
seconds.
amount of time. Rodgers played for a total of 1 minute 34 seconds before his season-ending injury. He'll be paid $399,000 for every second of game time, or nearly $24 million for that first minute alone. And if you include the time that he was on the sideline, $154,000 per second, or $9,375,000 per snap.
That is a heck of a deal.
That's all guaranteed. And who knows if he's going to come back next year.
Wow.
We'll just have to wait and see, I guess, because I think they said it's a season-ending injury. So even if the New York Jets hold it out and play well enough to make it into the playoffs, I don't even think he's able to come back for that. Now, I mean, of course, surgeries and science of all that has advanced so much over the years.
Legs.
Can they fix it? Can they fix it in time? Can he heal in time? He's 39 years old. So the body doesn't heal as fast as it did when he started in his career.
That's true.
I have no idea. So I think he won't. If he's physically able to, I think he'd play next year at least. I mean, Tom Brady played till he was like 43 or something like that. So I think there's still some. I was going to say there's still some legs. He's still got legs, but not really. Not right now.
Do you think that this is his high watermark for earnings?
I thought he made more money with Green Bay.
Did he?
That? Yeah.
It still seems like a heck of a lot of money.
He took the pay cut. He took he gave back $35 million.
Jeez.
So
that's a nice position.
But he was able to do that because he has made so much money over the years, and he knows as soon as he retires, he's probably got some sort of job waiting for him, just like Tom Brady has a broadcasting job waiting for him. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was a finalist to be the host on Jeopardy.
Huh.
So He's got tons of things that he could be doing.
We could bring him here.
We could.
That'd be fun.
He could do the Aaron Rodgers show. That would be fantastic.
I like it.
Still a lot to get to here on the show. We've got your Moody on the Market update coming up next. It's 94.9 WSJM.
You only get one set of eyes. Dry eyes may seem like something you just have to deal with, but pay attention if you.
How much per second?
Per second.
Or was it per minute or whatever it was?
$399,000 every second of game time.
$399,000.
And then when he was off the field, $154,000 per second.
And it was 4 plays. And on the 5th play is when he injured.
Play is when he got the injury.
Did he get a first down in any one of those plays? He must have.
He must have.
Okay.
I think they got a couple runs. But yeah, I actually didn't tune into the game until it was somewhere in the second quarter, and I saw their backup, Zach Wilson, playing. And I was like, wait a minute. Why would Aaron Rodgers be off the sideline? Did he get hit or something? And then I looked it up, and he had torn his Achilles.
I'll have to go back and look at that to see if he actually threw a pass. Because if he didn't even throw a pass,
right,
or if he threw one, that was a really expensive pass.
Very expensive pass. But yeah, Moody on the Market update coming up here next.
Business Awards for 2023, presented by the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber, Silver Beach Pizza, the Inn at Harbor Shores, Life Vision Eye Care, Autobahn Imports, the St. Joseph Banking Center of Sturgis Bank, and Doubleday Office Products, with support from United Way of Southwest Michigan, Conserva Irrigation, and Serene Water Gardens. I'm Awards Director Zach East. Right now at moodyonthemarket.com, I invite you to nominate a woman in Berrien, Cass, or Van Buren County that you know in business, volunteer, or nonprofit work, making a difference here in Michigan's Great Southwest. Tell us how this female figure is helping their organization to grow, bring impact, and make positive change so we can award them for their inspiring efforts and help foster other future women leaders in our community with their stories. The nomination deadline is Sunday, October 1st, so get to moodyonthemarket.com and review the requirements and make your nomination today. The Bold Women in Business Awards is back for 2023 from moodyonthemarket.com.
It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
What do you want to know? Southwest Michigan's business? Look no further than moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. And your wonderful team of contributors always got a ton of great stories, as well as our Moody on the Move series is pretty cool. He's talking with the folks at Niles Screen Park.
Mm-hmm.
So go and check that out when you get a chance. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. And
how easy could it be to get your flu shot?
Very
drive-through easy.
Drive-through easy?
Drive-through easy. Corewell Health is offering drive-through flu shots in northern Berrien County over the next several weeks. With insurance, the shots will likely be free of any additional charge. The details are in a statement from Corewell Lakeland Healthcare. They say the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends a yearly flu vaccine for everyone ages 6 months and older as the best protection from the flu, a serious illness. Lakeland Care Network, in collaboration with Corewell Health, will offer the drive-through community flu shots in September and October.
Yeah, these drive-through flu shots available for adults ages 18 and over, and patients can remain in their car while the shot is administered. Now, appointments are not needed, and Lakeland Care will administer the quadrivalent.
The four
flu thing. Yeah, 4-pointed star.
Yes.
Which offers protection against 4 different flu viruses. Now, the high-dose quadrivalent flu vaccine will be available for those ages 65 years and older as well.
We have a whole slew of where and when this is happening. We won't go through it here on the air, but we will. We do have it already on our moodyonthemarket.com. So for more information, you can go to the website, see all the different locations and dates when they're going to have it. It looks like they start up today, as a matter of fact, at 2:00. So if you're in the Corewell Health Center for outpatient services area, you can get that flu shot as you sit in your car. Couldn't be easier.
Yeah, no cost to people with most insurances, and then $37 for traditional vaccine, $74 for that high dose vaccine. So yeah, pretty simple and easy.
Yep.
Do they have cheeseburgers that also come along with that?
I said orange soda.
Here you get a shot. Here's an ice cream cone. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, check out that story and more at moodyonthemarket.com and the app. And that update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll catch you up with news, sports, and plan your weekend with St. Joe today, all coming up here in just a bit.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance Management Service.
Sometimes
Sorry, rocking out to that Insurance Management Service jingle there.
Gotcha.
But yeah. All
Good
right,
stuff.
everybody. Hopefully the sun is out and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day.
My eyes hurt. It's so bright.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Thanks for everybody for chiming in and hanging out with us for a little while. Feel free to, if you want to rewatch this, if you missed any part of it, you can do that. But also, if you missed any part of the show, check out the podcast at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Any other parting words, Ken?
Tell your friends and family.
Yeah. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. No, I think it'll be good. We'll keep covering all the different news happenings that are going on today. That UAW strike, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on that for sure, because I just can't see them coming to a deal as far apart as they are.
Yeah.
Them coming to a deal that they both can agree with in this short amount of time.
Yep.
So, yeah, how long the strike lasts, only time will tell. But if they can't come together, they're this far apart, I feel like they're going to be far apart for a little while.
So hang on to your car.
Absolutely. Don't, hopefully nothing breaks anytime soon. But you have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.